Well, Saturday the 13th out here in the beetle barn, and I'm back out here. I've been playing in the garden and doing other things. Just went and filled up a bunch of cans with some petrol so I can mess with the Chevrolet. Didn't have any more can gas around, but first thing I need to do is to move some of this stuff out of the way and pull the nose of the little rabbit truck in here. It's got some kind of a issue in the front end. I'm not sure what exactly. It hops on the freeway a little bit at speed when I'm accelerating in particular, and when I hit a bump or something it wants to jump sideways, so there's something loose in the front end of that guy, and I got to figure out what it is before I drive it anymore. So I'll clean up a little bit, pull it in, jack it up, and see if I can figure something out. Well, as I look at this thing, there isn't any wobble, top and bottom, or back and forth, either side. So I guess I got to climb under it and figure out what's worn out. I've never had an alignment on this thing. It steers fine. It doesn't, oversteer, understeer, any of that crap, and it doesn't wear out tires. So I've never messed with the alignment on it, but it's just got some kind of a wobble and a rattle and a shake in it. So I'll have to climb under it and see what's up. Well, I'm not finding anything loose underneath here. The A-arms appear to be the rubber bushings and stuff seem to be tight. Outer ball joints, at least when it's in this position up in the air here, seem to be fine. I'm not finding any loosies under here. Strut here on this passenger side does appear like I don't know, it's kind of nasty up here. Guess you can see up in there, and the rubber boot and everything's gone. It's possible the strut is bad, I suppose. I have never, that I recall, changed the struts on this one. It's a problem with having too many cars. You can't remember what you did and what you didn't do, but I don't remember those red boot things that are, well, it's all crunched up and black now, but anyway, I don't remember those, so I kind of don't think I've done the struts on this, so that may be where my issue is. So I think where I'm going to start on this is to tear that passenger side apart. That seems to be my issue. So when I'm going up the road, and if I hit a bump with the passenger side, there's a pretty good clunk, and the truck jumps sideways, generally towards the passenger side. Under acceleration, if I hit a bump like a manhole cover or something in particular, it tends to take like a hop sideways. So I'm going to start with that strut there, tear this side apart and see what's up with that, and go from there. If I need to put struts on it, I'll dig around through the pile, and I should be able to come up with some good used ones around here. If not, I'll just go buy some new ones, but I don't know, we'll see what's up. After some looking around, I'm down here underneath the dash, and anyway, you can see there I got a bearing race laying there, and that allows the steering shaft to move up and down, and then it's got a U-joint down here which is kind of dry. I'll probably lube it up while I'm at it, but it doesn't appear to be loose. So I'll go ahead and fix that bearing in there, see if it takes care of some of my shakes and rattles, and just keep in mind that I want to do struts, and go ahead and order a pair. Put in some new struts. I plan on driving this truck, so I might as well put new ones in, and rather than some used ones around here and have to do it again, I'll just put some new ones in, and ought to be good to go for a long time. But first thing is to find a bearing here and see if I can find a good one. I have some steering columns laying around and stuff, so I should be able to find one and replace that bearing there and check out that U-joint, lube it up real good, and see how it runs. Anyway, that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. Well, it's been decided that I'm going to put this steering column in. This one here is out of my kid's wrecked 4-door. I think it was an 82. Anyway, it's the same animal and it's in good shape. Spins well, bearings intact. I found a key for the ignition there. I may take the actual door handles off of the doors that came off of this car and swap them out so the key fits everything. It's one less key to carry. We'll have to see about that. I haven't decided yet, but I'm working on getting this one out of here. And I got the bolts out and the majority of the wires off and stuff, but there's a spring keeper under here, right up here. They say pry it off with the screwdriver. Well, I've been trying to pry it off with the screwdriver, haven't been successful, so got to figure that out. And once I get that off, then that column will come out of there, and I'll go ahead and put this one in. The book shows that there should be a spring between this little retainer ring and the knuckle on the U-joint down here. I didn't find the spring in the box that was with this, and there was no spring on this truck, which is probably why it all fell apart. So I have to scrounge around through the parts and see where the spring is. I'm not exactly sure what I'm looking for, so I'm going to go look at one of my other trucks here that probably still has it intact and see what I'm looking for, and then I'll be able to find one around here. Well, I've been through 4 other rabbits around here. Another 81 truck, 84 rabbit, another 81 truck, and what else did I do? Oh, let's see, 2 81 trucks, an 84, and this 77 over here. Not one of them have a spring here like it shows in the book, so I guess I'm not going to worry about it. I don't have a spring around it that looks like it belongs there, and I've been through several parts cans, and that bearing doesn't appear like it's going to fall out of there. So anyway, I guess I'm going to omit that spring that it shows in the book. Well, I finally got this other column out of here, and I decided what I'm going to do is go ahead and change the switch from the old column to the column I'm putting in. And on these rabbits, sometimes the switches go bad. Anyway, you can get the switch out. I guess we can, there's the switch. Anyway, there are instructions on this, but on this, see if I can do this. Maybe. See if I can get it to focus here. On this column here, you can see the logo in here. There's the Audi and the VW. Just a certain distance from the VW there, you drill a hole. Then you can poke a little pin in there and pull the ignition switch out. There's a spring-loaded keeper in there. Anyway, this is all inside the column on the bottom end, or actually on the top, on the passenger side. It's a pain to do in the car, but I have done it. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and drill the other column over there and see if I can get that thing out of there. So I guess I'll just do that. If I zoom in, do it right about there. So this will be in the car in this relative position generally, and there are measurements for drilling this guy right here, but being as I just took one out and I can look at the other one, I'm not going to measure it, so hopefully I won't screw things up. We'll find out. Drill a hole right about here. And I hope I got it. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. You just go down through the aluminum there. There it is. Okay, well I just drilled that thing out and realized I wasn't in the frame, but anyway, I drilled a hole down in that column there. I don't know if we'll be able to see it from this angle. No. But if I leave it right there, roll down a little bit. Anyway, I just drilled a hole in that thing, and this is the 82 Rec 4-door column here. And I want to put my old switch out of my Rabbit truck in here, so I drilled my hole in right here, and then I'll take just a little tiny screwdriver here. You do it with the key in the off position. The key doesn't even have to be in there, but anyway, you just push down on a little spring keeper inside there and kind of start to wiggle it, and if you're lucky it'll let go for you, and if you're not lucky it won't. There we go. So there it is. You take the old one out and you take the one you want to put back in, set it down in. There's kind of a groove, so it only goes one way, and then just pop it in there, and then just give it a check. Steering's locked here, so I'll use my old Rabbit truck key, and there we go. Works good. So I'm back in business now with my original key, and I can label this guy and put it away so it matches the door locks on that 4-door. I've got the doors left from that wrecked Rabbit, so I've got a bunch of door handles with the proper key that match this guy, so I'll have to label this and put it away. So now I guess I get to reverse everything and put this one back in there. Well, after much thinking about it, I decided I'm going to put a spring on here. I guess it's just to hold this bearing assembly up in there. It is kind of pressed in, but there's a big gap here, so over time I guess they figure it could get loose and drop down out of there. Basically the spring just pushes on this inner race here and just keeps it up in the tube. Anyway, I dug around and I have one of these, this piece of spring here. It's actually half of another spring. These are off of a cheap pushrod tube quickie replacement thing. They're plastic and keeps you from having to pull the heads all the way off. You just pop the rockers off and pull the pushrod out, rip the old leaky tube out, and stuff this up in there, and it's a spring-loaded thing to hold the seals. Anyway, I cut it in half, and then I wound the one end up so it should fit fairly close to around this thing and keep it centered. The other end just happens to fit this race properly. So I'll put that guy down on there, and then when I put my steering knuckle on, down here my U-joint, that'll hold it up, and just put just a little bit of pressure on here to hold that in place, and I think that's kind of what they were thinking of when they had this thing designed. Although, like I said, I've been to a bunch of my Rabbits and stuff around here, and not a single one even has one of these guys on it. I'll go ahead and put one on because I think it's probably a good idea. Anyway, that'll be on there, and then when I push my knuckle on there, it'll put just a little bit of tension on there, which will hold this guy up in there, and I think that's what they were looking at doing. So anyway, I guess you can see what I got going. So now I'm going to go ahead and put this thing back together. Well, I had a little company, but I managed to get this thing put back together, and so I'm rocking a gray steering wheel instead of the old brown one here now. Steering column out of that other car. And I went ahead and put my spring up in there. I guess you can see that up on top of that knuckle there on that U-joint. And yeah, it's nice and smooth. Makes me happy. But while I was under here, I also noticed that I don't know if we can even see it. Up on the top of the throttle pedal there, right up there, there is a rubber bushing up inside of a loop on the top of that pedal assembly. And of course the rubber bushing's gone. They make them out of some really cheesy rubber, and they rot out after just a couple of years. So that bushing's gone, so I'm not getting full throttle out of this guy. As if it really makes a lot of difference. I think I'm running maybe 60 horsepower. But I figured I might as well fix that while I'm at it, and so I'm going to make a bushing and put in there, and that'll help my lack of performance a little bit. So going to go ahead and do that while I got it all apart. And yeah, well, here's my little bushing. I made it out of a chunk of it's an old piece of a conveyor belt. It's like a 1/4 inch thick or so. It's got some woven cotton in there, I guess. But anyway, this is what I make them out of. I got to drill a hole in the center, about an 1/8 inch, and then I'll be able to put my little hook guy through it, and washer on each side where it belongs. And this thing will ride in there, and that's kind of the bushing that the cable goes through on the pedal of these stupid rabbits. Anyway, the stuff they make these out of, the original ones, is it deteriorates really fast. It's almost like they cut up a bunch of those foam earplugs or something and made them out of that. It's very flimsy stuff, and it eats up real fast. These that I make out of this stuff last a long time. So I'll go ahead and drill my hole in it and put it in there, and then I'm going to put this thing on the ground and give it a test run. Anyway, thanks for watching.